In 1986, NES would release a little game called Metroid, which was quite dark, a little bit ominous. It would introduce a new style of gaming, adventurous, exploratory. About 40 years later, almost 16 years since the last release, we finally get Metroid Prime 4. And of course, with such a long wait, there's going to be some high expectations. So before we get into the reviews, I think it's good to understand what this game was about. So could you kind of help us understand, in your own words, what is Metroid really all about?
So Metroid at its like core, at its soul, its differentiating factor, at least for Prime, it's a first-person action adventure exploration game. But I mean, that kind of sounds pretty generic. What really differentiates Metroid is that it has a feeling very different from most other first-person shooters, and it's the feeling of isolation. A consistent theme you see all the way from the very first NES Metroid all the way up to basically the Prime series is that you're on a secluded planet. You're with you don't know what is foe and what is neutral. For the most part, you're still going to shoot everything, but it is a mysterious feeling that kind of wraps you in from like aliens. You don't know what this place is. Everything is different. That's the immersion factor that Metroid has. It's not necessarily with just all the enemies or foes, but the environment itself, like the planet. I know it goes through the forest, the lava, the snow land, but all those are like a world in itself.
And a great sense of immersion too, with the music and the feeling of everything. Scanning, scanning, was that new to Prime? I don't think that.
Well, it did pop up in Super Metroid, but it didn't have the same utility it did as Prime did.
Yeah, not the same effect, not the same.
No, you get maybe stuck in a room or curious, and then you scan just for secret walls. In Prime, it is like utilized as almost as an essential tool.
I'm glad they introduced that, because if you go back to NES Metroid, no scanning, you're just blowing up shit everywhere you go.
Power bombing every every tile of floor.
Yeah. Well, I asked that because I feel like it's a great foundation to understand what Metroid Prime 4 is and what the expectations are. Because if you go online, part of waiting for so long is that there's this buildup, there's this suspense, and there's going to be a lot of newcomers as well. Just about every time I look up something on Metroid 4, it comes in my feed, like it's going to be something probably really good or really bad. This game sucked. They didn't take enough chances. They weren't doing anything crazy. And I'm like, okay, let's step back and maybe look at it a little bit differently.
And we are coming from the perspective of initial impressions on the game.
Yeah.
I have like maybe 6 hours into it. You have like maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, I just touched on it.
Yeah.
I think the great thing about hearing bad reviews is that your expectations kind of get set even lower, but it also gives you the ability to think, well, what is this game supposed to be? Who is this for?
On that topic, a very infamous point is the desert and the bike. That is probably the number one complaint we're getting. And as soon as I got to that portion of the game, I was like, okay, not too bad. It's not the greatest portion of the game. And I think I'm returning to that part more often, to where I'm starting to grow in frustration. I was like, okay, it's building, but it wasn't like, fuck, bike, desert, this game sucks.
Austin Power, the NPCs, I can see the people, being pissed off. Out
of context, but the scientist, the first NPC.
Oh man, when you said that, I could not unsee it.
Baby.
I was less distracted by his talking than his appearance, but I got that part of the magic recipe is the isolation. Here they throw this very talkative NPC, but if you go back to Corruption, you had fellow bounty hunter NPCs that were right there with you.
They're chatting it up.
Yeah, the Federation's there along your side are always kind of buggy, but once you get into gameplay, it seems like they return you to the isolation of it.
For the most part, Prime 4 kind of stays true to it. I haven't beat it, so I can't say if it stays all the way through.
I mean, you've done some exploratory. You've unlocked. You've gotten some things, and you
Mhm.
fought some bosses. I would
Mhm.
say generally, somewhat on track
Mhm.
to
It-
a good Metroid, a good follow up.
And-
More Metroid.
And you know what, the thing is that I remember in Prime 1 that even that had slow points where I'm like, all right, I'm fucking backtracking, I'm going back to the fucking Chozo ruins again, or
Yeah.
whatever it's called, the brown place. Again, this also has another brown place. The desert is just a little bit more colorful with the blue skies and a bike.
Which that was refreshing for me. And of course, any newcomer and somebody just in their teens, 20s might not see this game as a big leap. You know, it's just like, oh, we're already doing that. Graphically, it's not impressive, but seeing it come from playing Corruption down now to Prime 4, I'm like, this is a huge, even the remaster, going from the remaster Metroid Prime 1 to Part 4, I'm like, this is a big leap. This is doing a lot.
It did feel like if Metroid was to make a Part 4, we're getting more of it. And I remember we were talking about that the trilogy pretty much already ended, and then you have Corruption, the freshest in your mind. That felt like a long conclusion. Like that was it. That was supposed to, that's it. We're done with the series. Pack your bags, we're going home.
Yeah.
I feel like we're lucky just to even get a Prime 4. Like it is what, 17, 18 years till the last Prime. No, I mean, nobody was sincerely asking for another game. We did want one.
No, the numbers for Metroid fans have probably only gotten smaller with the now ever so addicting type gaming like Fortnite and
all the battle royales, all the Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's gravitating the new audience. So the older audience who's they're getting kids, they're adulting, their finances don't look the same. They've been out of gaming for a long time. Metroid Prime is as a whole already having a bit of a fallout. So I'd be surprised if we get another Prime follow-up, Part 5 one day. Maybe they'll kind of like Star Wars. We got momentum, keep it going. I don't know.
I guess the expectation was the same way Expedition 33 took RPGs and brought them to a new crowd and fucking glazed it and sent it.
Yeah.
Was probably the expectations that first-person Metroidvanias were going to get. Like, this is the franchise that's going to bring it back up. And then with a new, fresh coat of paint. And I was like, this franchise is too rooted in its, like, ideas. And Nintendo doesn't stray too far, especially in, like, a fundamental franchise. It stays, for better or worse, true to its ideas, like the backtracking, the confusing map.
Yeah. Only to be later masterpiece qualities.
Yeah.
As you go, as it ages, it just fucking fine wine.
Prime 2, like everybody hated Prime 2, but now everybody's like, oh, that was actually the better one.
That's part of why I've been wanting to play Part 2. Is like all of a sudden everybody loves it now.
It's the black sheep effect that you start getting the
with time, things pendulum effect shifts, I guess.
Yeah. Especially if like you didn't play it and now you went back and you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Now you review it very positively, and then that's the general impression. But I mean, only time will tell with Prime 4. I think everybody's agreeing that it's a solid game. It's just not a genre defining game like it used to be. And it did it twice. It did it one for Super Metroid. It like again, it's like on everybody's top 3, top 2 Metroidvanias or just Metroid games in general. And then Prime is like the next evolution.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is Prime 4 supposed to do past that? Go into the 4th dimension?
Yeah.
Like, where are we going? Fucking Oculus?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. They tend to be experimental. You know, they got the mouse feature, which they probably don't even utilize that very much.
And the Wiimote.
Yeah. They've, the pinball, the DS, so they've always kind of, in some sense, push the boundaries, but I wouldn't expect them at this point to do anything revolutionary. I think we're just happy to get more Prime 4. It would be nice to maybe even get another 2D follow-up, and instead of worrying about a Prime, maybe a Part 2. But to the point, I think people's expectations are always going to muddy the waters in terms of the reviews and what you hear. It just came out. Metroid takes a lot of takes a lot of time to kind of marinate and get some love for the game.
Yeah, to patiently play it through.
So if you reviewed it, you probably crash coursed this game, and you probably had not a true definitive background of this game. And one more thing I'll add is that we saw a lot of bad reviews, but if you go and look for all sorts of other sources that are unbiased, better sources of reviewing, you see that this game got 90s and up on average. So got to take everything with a grain of salt with what you're seeing.
It does have that level of Nintendo quality to it. I know we're glazing every Nintendo product, but usually it's like you're only I mean, like Asian student, only A's, like that's all you're supposed to get. And if you get nothing less, then you're not great.
Yeah, you're not a doctor.
Yeah,
you want to be a comedian.
What the hell, successful comedian.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, I think be careful with what you're reviewing, what you're hearing. But would like to hear from you guys. What did you think? Have you played it? Are you interested? The Metroid fans still alive? Where are we going to next? Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for now. See you guys next week.
Yeah, see you.